We've already done a list of companies, and finishing this has left us as an exercise at the end of the chapter. So let's look at creating a list of people who are associated with a particular company. First, we'll need to select the company we're interested in, so we'll use the same technique as we did for editing a company. We'll use a drop-down select in a small form that takes us to our output page. The output page will need to contain information about the company at the top, and under that, a list of the persons from the table tperson who are associated with that company by having its ID in their company ID field. Finally, we'll create a link to this new process on our home page. Implementing this, load the file companyedit.php and save it as company select. So overwrite the file name in the script, copy that, and save as, not save, but save as company select in the forms directory. Now edit this as follows. The company select file does something new, so delete the documentation and insert the snippet output select company select docs. This script defines an HTML form using a drop-down to select a company from tcompany and passes tcompany.id to the file companylistpeople.php. Secondly, change the action in the form from company edit form to company list people. Then under company name, we'll also include the registration type for the company in our list, and we'll change the full company name to include this registration type. So delete the old expression for full company name and save the file. Now let's add a link to this in our home page. Open the file index.php, scroll to the bottom, and after the link to company edit, insert the script project index.php plus company people, and save the index file. Now we'll create the output script. Recall that our company select script had an action of company list people, so that's the file we're going to create. In a new code pane, insert the snippet forms project forms company list people, and save the file, of course, as company list people in our forms folder. You've just been in the top level to edit index, so you'll need to click forms to save it in the correct folder. And let's run that file. From our home page, we now have the link list people in a company. It goes to the company select form where we select the company, select one, and submit, and it lists some information about the company and the list of all of the people associated with that company. Let's have a look at the script, collapsing the top bits and indeed each of these artificial braces that I've created. So if there is a successful connection to the database, we're going to get the details of the company we selected in the company select script. We're then going to get the details of all the associated person records, and we're going to paint some output or render some output onto the browser. First of all, just as before, we get the company ID that's been sent from the company select script. We check that it's not 0, and if it is, we go back to the company select script. We then select the company details and create a variable company full name comprising of prename, company name, and registration type, and company full address comprising all of the address details. Secondly, we get all of the records from tperson by selecting from tperson where their company ID has the value company ID from the post command. We then put all of the person records into a person array and increment the index on the array as we go, gathering up at the end the number of persons, which is the size of the array, and releasing the memory space required for that query. And then the output is simply a header comprising the full name of the company, followed by the company full address. And then we're using a for loop to cycle through all of the records of person array from 0 up to 1 less than num persons, and simply print them out, comma separated. At the end, we of course have a link back to our home page. We can tidy up this display by deleting the output section and replacing it with the snippet forms plus output company list people, which sets up, instead of a simple H2 header in HTML, sets up a table with 2 records, one to render the full company name and a second item to render the company full address, and then cycles through the person array as before, but puts them in bordered table records inside a table. We've also put in some style around the table to give it a margin to the left, and we've put in some style around the whole lot to give it a font. Save this and run the same script again. And the only change is we now have a more attractive layout with the company full name, the address, and a bordered table listing all of the people records in that company.